Hi, this is Mel. I hope all of you are doing awesome. Today I'm going to do a story. Now, this is 100% true ghost story. So, every summer, Neha and her husband Ajay went to their cabin in the forest. They had a wood cabin. So this place was very much secluded from the town and very peace and quietful. So they liked it. So they went for quite some time. Now, as usual, every summer they went. So they went to this summer too, and then everything was okay. They usually went there and then they did the cleanup and scrubbing and mopping and everything. And then by night time, they used to be very tired. So the Ajay was very tired and he fell asleep pretty early. In the cabin, they did fall asleep early because they went to relax, so they were not using their electronic devices. That one thing that they agreed on, that they will not use electronic devices too much during this vacation. So as they were sleeping, and it was around 2 a.m., Neha couldn't sleep, so she was writing. She used to love to write a lot about her experiences, and she was a writer. So as she was writing, she heard an animal or something crying from the woods, and there was a lot of deep, dense wood back of their cabin. She went to the upstairs window to look at it, what is in there. And then she opened the window and then she looked and she couldn't see anything because it was pitch dark. So she went to downstairs window and she was like running around all over this wood cabin, which wasn't very big inside. It was just only upstairs and downstairs and a little space for kitchen dining together. So she couldn't see much, but it was a very loud cry coming of an animal. It could be a raccoon or a fox, but she wasn't sure what was it. But it was making so noise that it was stuck in something. So then she got out her floodlight. This light was very powerful light, and she could put this light from far away and see to the distance very clearly because this light was very powerful. So she went to upstairs roof, like in the window, in the attic window, and from there she opened the window and she put the floodlight to the woods. As she put the floodlight to the woods, she saw that a fox, but it kind of looked very cloudy, but still a fox, ran away from the woods, and as soon as the fox escaped, there was a few swirling lights, and they were very bright lights. They went far away against the wood. There was a fence, and they went to the fence and hit the fence, and this light scattered, and she could see about 5 or 6 light scattered in a pattern, and this was all over the woods, but very bright light, like she couldn't miss it. But the thing was, she didn't have cell phone with her because as they promised not to use devices so much, and she was just writing her stories in notebooks, so she wasn't carrying the cell phone, so she couldn't take a picture of it to see later, analyze what it was. Anyway, so she saw that and she came down and she couldn't forget it. And then she woke up Ajay and explained to him, and he said, okay, maybe you got very sleepy And so you were imagining things. And she said, no, this is not imagination, this is true. It happened and I saw with my two own eyes. But he kind of dismissed it and went back to sleep. He was too sleepy. So she went to sleep, tossing and turning, couldn't sleep much. But then later in the morning, she was sleepy. And when they got up pretty late, around 10 a.m. in the morning, then they ate and then they went outside and they saw that nearby where they heard the noise, where she heard the noise, and they went to see and they saw a giant dead fox. So she said that she clearly saw the fox going away, but it looked kind of smoky and cloudy as the fox went away. So now she was pretty certain that there was something supernatural holding the fox and these bright lights. And then in the process, in the struggle, it killed the fox. And fox did have serious bruises in the body. And then they called the forest authorities, and they came and took the fox. And they did some investigation, but didn't seem like found anything. But she couldn't forget those bright lights, or she couldn't forget the huge fox. And then the next day they drove back to their home, and then the following year they sold their cabin because they didn't want to go there anymore. Especially Neha, she just didn't feel good because she had a creepy feeling about the cabin after that, and she didn't feel so peaceful or calm. She kept remembering those lights and how the fox was so giant and it screamed and it died. And this is a true story, but I'm not going to reveal the identity, true identity of the person. I'll just call her Neha. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I'll see you with many, many more. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night. Sweet dreams.